welcome to the What If Ask AI channel. On this channel, we ask multiple AI services what if questions. The what if questions was made back in my childhood when I was asked to put all my questions in a binder because my family was tired of me asking them all the questions I had in mind. Now, later in the future, I'm taking the questions I made from my childhood and asking the AI services the questions and reviewing and judging their responses. I hope you enjoy this channel. And welcome back to the What If Ask AI channel. Today we're looking at this question. What if your house was in space? As always, I have two example what if questions just to help give the AI services a hint of what I'm looking for. And then the AI services I'll be using today are ChatGPT, Copilot, Google Gemini, Perplexity, and Duck AI. So let's get started by asking ChatGPT this question. What if your house was in space? So ChatGPT's answer is that would be pretty incredible, but also quite challenging. I'd hope you enjoy the view while staying safe up there. Now let's ask Copilot that same question. What if your house was in space? Okay, so Copilot's answer is I'd say that would be pretty incredible. You'd have a view no one else on Earth could match, and I'd be excited for the future you'd be living. Now let's see what Gemini's response to the question is. What if your house was in space? Gemini's response is I'd say that you'd have a pretty stellar view, though the commute for groceries might be a bit of a nightmare. Now let's see what Perplexity's response to the question is. What if your house was in space? That'd be pretty incredible and probably a bit scary too. All right, now let's ask Duck AI, what if your house was in space? Okay, so this is Duck AI's response. What if your house was in space? The living conditions, you would need full life support, our airtight structure, oxygen supply, pressure regulation, temperature control, waste recycling and radiation shielding, gravity. Without gravity, you would float. To simulate Earth-like gravity, you need rotation, centrifugal force, or continual thrust. Otherwise, adapt to microgravity with anchored furniture and movement training. Structure and materials. The house must handle launch stresses, thermal extremes, micrometeoroid impacts, and vacuum. Use rigid insulated modules with layered shielding and airlocks. Power and resources. The panels, with solar panels plus batteries or nuclear for long-term for power. Water recycling and hydroponics or supply for food, CO2 scrubbers, and oxygen generation for air. Mobility and access. Transport to/from would require spacecraft, docking, or shuttle visits. Emergency escape vehicle and reliable communications are essential. Health and daily life. Bone and muscle loss, fluid redistribution, and radiation exposure are major risks, countered by exercise, medical monitoring, and shielding. Psychological effects from isolation and confinement need plan, social contract, structured routine, mental health support. Safety and emergencies, redundant systems, fire suppression adapted for microgravity, leak detection, and protocols for depressurization or system failure. And lastly, legal and logistical ownership, jurisdiction, and launch/landing logistics are governed by space treaties and national regulations. Launches and maintenance are costly and complex. Practical short version, feasible for specialized habitants, space stations, modules, but requires extensive engineering, life support, shielding, transport, and high cost. A true everyday house in space would resemble a compact, well-shielded space more than an Earth home. Okay, now I have my rankings for the AI services, the ranking being 1 is the best and 5 is the worst. And at number 5, I have Copilot. And the reason I put Copilot as number 5 is because it mentioned no concerns about you being in space. It just mentioned how it would be incredible and that'd be awesome. But there's no concerns about, like, space is not Earth and stuff like that, and how are you going to take care of yourself. So that's why I put Copilot as number 5. And then for number 4, I put Gemini, because Gemini at least mentioned, like, when you commute for your groceries, that's going to be tough and it's going to be a nightmare. And then, so that's why I put Gemini as number 4. And then for number 3, I put Perplexity. And the reason I put Perplexity as number 3 is because it mentioned, it'd be a bit scary. And I felt like that was, it was broad, but at least it had a concern about a house being in space. And then number 2, I put Duck AI. Now, Duck AI gave a lot of information, but the main reasons that I put it as number 2 is because it doesn't really match the short answers that I was kind of looking for from the examples. But it did mention things like living concerns, like the living conditions, you need full life support. And then also it mentioned, like, the government concerns as well, the oversight concerns, such as, like, some parts are governed by space treaties and national regulations. So I like how it mentioned those things as well, because having a house up there, that would cause problems. And then number 1, I put ChatGPT, and I put it because it mentioned that it would be quite challenging of a house being in space, and then it also mentioned, being safe up there. So I liked it when it said that. So one more time, my ranking for this episode is Copilot is 5, Gemini is 4, Perplexity is 3, Duck AI is 2, and ChatGPT is 1. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.